Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I've got a game between Venusaur, who is the red zerg in the lower left position, and he will be playing against EGThorZaIN in the top right, who is the blue terran. Therefore it is a ZVT. ThorZaIN, obviously very well known, signed for Evil Geniuses, well, annihilated DreamHack recently, also just the Spoon Terran, so just very careful, digging his way through, trying to be systematic and just wear his opponent down, so should be a very good game. Venusaur is a GM player on the EU server, not quite sure who he is. I've never come across him basically. So the map's Cow Kingdom. What can we expect? Well, it's ZVT, so Venusaur will go for this 15 hatch almost certainly, then a 16 pool, just because that way you get both queens up. ThorZaIN, he'll probably try and get quite a quick expansion, just because this isn't too hard to hold really. You can put a bunker either in a more defensive back position or just in a very forward position, defend it quite nicely with marines from anything the zerg player can throw at you. Also it forces the zerg player to try and take this third relatively quickly, which can be a bit awkward because, well, tanks can come up here, they can come from the back, there's just a lot of angles of attack, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to defend from. These two watchtowers will be absolutely essential. The other thing which we will see going into the mid game is Venusaur wanting to take out these rocks, and also the rocks up to this space, just because Zerg don't want to fight in a choke. It would be very advantageous for ThorZaIN, so we'll see if they get taken down anytime soon. But there goes the 15 hatch from Venusaur, as sort of expected. It also looks like ThorZaIN's going to go for that command center first build, so very bold play. When I said he'd go for a quick expansion, I was expecting something more along the lines of a 1 Rax command center, but a build like this will probably be followed up by 3 barracks just to be defensive and just pump out a lot of marines. The gas will be a little bit later. Obviously this is going to have to be countered by Venusaur, and the most effective way to do so is either take your third really quickly or try and push out and do some damage, but I'd imagine that third will go down relatively quickly. He also needs to think about his queen production, because a lot of zergs nowadays are going, especially after the range increase, are going very much for getting 4 early queens, because queens are good. Really good. They're good against Hellions, they're good against Reapers, they're good against even most early pushes. If you get 4 queens up, you keep the injects going, you also get amazing creep spread, which, especially when you've got your third quite spread out, you want to get that good creep spread going as soon as possible. It also means that, well, going into the mid-game you've got transfuses, you don't have to worry about building queens when you get your third and fourth base up. There's just so many advantages to it. Now, this drone will see everything, knows exactly the timing. That command center was down first, knows he's not got any threat of early pressure coming soon. The final thing you'll try and check is this gas. Won't expect to see any, just because to get those 2 racks out and the command center, gas will come pretty late. So everything's really where Venusaur wants it to be, or not where he wants it to be, but where he knows it is occurring, and he can plan appropriately by droning really heavily. He's getting out those first 2 queens. These gas won't be taken for quite a while now, because he needs to get this third base up if he wants to take this into a longer game. Obviously his only other option is to stay on 2 bases and go for a big 2 base all in, although with these racks at the front it can get quite awkward to do that, because, well, he's rallying forward to this watchtower, so he's going to see what's coming. He's going to have a lot of marines out relatively quickly, and also it's going to be quite hard to Baneling bust that or anything, because it's not as weak as the supply depot wall. First gas just coming down now for Venusaur. That's for speed, maybe for Banelings as well. The interesting thing is there is still no sign of this third base out of Venusaur yet, which says to me he's going to be looking to try and get for a 2 base all in, and this is a third command center out of ThorZaIN, so he's going command center crazy, expansion crazy, and it's actually going to put him a base up on Venusaur, even if it's not started yet. This spine crawler is much more defensive. It's sort of a back of your mind thing, you just get it. It doesn't cost you too much, but it means pushes like this can do nothing. So it's really clever. He's also got out those 4 queens as I thought he would, so creep spread's going to be really nice, and he can push forward with that spine. This is more for Hellions, but with these 2 queens and the spine crawler, those marines won't be able to do anything. They are going to go and check for that third base though, which of course ThorZaIN's going to be expecting. The fact he won't see this, we're already at 6 minutes 20. There's no base here, is going to say to ThorZaIN, well, this is likely to be a lot of pressure coming in the mid-game, and he needs to react appropriately to that. He may not even fly down this command center. Meanwhile, he's just adding on more barracks and double engineering base, so this is going to be a really infantry heavy build, upgrade focused, and we'll probably see Stim out first, maybe Combat Shield. It depends whether ThorZaIN is really going to try and end this game soon, or if he just wants to be prepared for that big push. Obviously the Combat Shield will finish sooner, so we will see momentarily what ThorZaIN does choose to go for. He's got those double upgrades coming straight away really early. He's got those 2 additional barracks coming down as well, so his production will be great. And there finally goes the 3rd base for Venusaur, although that is incredibly late. There goes Stim, so it's going to be Stim, not Combat Shield, out first. So ThorZaIN definitely want to take this to the later game. The first Evo Chamber only just now coming down for Venusaur. He's getting his lair as well, and that Baneling's nest. And he needs to put on some pressure, because currently he's a base down by quite a long way. If we look at the work count, it's 44 to 39, or 44 to 40, so being only 4 behind, once you take mules into account, they're actually pretty equal on income, and especially if this base lands, well, obviously Venusaur is going to get behind. More tech labs and barracks being added on. This is going to be a massive infantry push. That's essentially what Venusaur is going to have to deal with. I mean, ThorZaIN hasn't got any medevacs at all here, which is a bit surprising. He's getting his factory up now, so I'd imagine he'll switch that out for medevacs relatively soon. These zerglings are going to be able to do, in a nice way, absolutely nothing. There's just too many marines there, and that wall off is just very nice. This kind of double position here is just brilliant, but this base will be forced to lift now, which will just be irritating for ThorZaIN. It won't get taken out. He will lift it, or maybe he'll just wait for Marines to come. I was sitting there wondering, like, is he actually going to lift it, or is he just going to let it die, or what? But we will see this double Evo out now, but of course that's a long way behind. I mean, 1-1 nearly finished for ThorZaIN already. Baning speed on the way out, and there goes that starport, and also the armory on its way to allow those 2-2 upgrades to start straight away for ThorZaIN. Really love how tight this build is. The rocks being taken down here for Venusaur, as I said they would be. Meanwhile, the 3rd base just up and running as well for both players. If you take a look at the work count, actually 52 to 49 in the Terran's favour, which is never a good spot to be in. The other thing that ThorZaIN is doing incredibly is he's leaving his marines spread out, because if there was a big Baning bus coming, if he wasn't paying attention, he could lose a lot of marines. But by leaving them all spread out while he's not just sitting there defending and macroing up, it just means he's a lot safer to something like that. Meanwhile, we will see that this starport and reactor will switch. That just allows the double medevac production, and also gives him room if he does need to go to Vikings if there was any sort of super early hive, which from what we've seen so far isn't the case. The infestation pit only just coming out now. Infestors are very good against this composition. Fungal growth, Rex Marines, and especially the Banelings as well. Now we are going to have an engagement here. The Lings do get a very nice round, but ThorZaIN just doing a great job spreading out. There's just too many Banelings. That is essentially the problem. There's just so many Banelings there. But Venusaur will clean that up quite nicely. If we take a look at the lost tab, it did actually come off worse in resources lost for Venusaur than ThorZaIN. ThorZaIN's also got great production. He needs those medevacs out very quickly. Only now getting the tanks. So that's a very late tank timing. And the supply depots weren't up. That means there's a lot of zerglings in your base, which is not something you want in the slightest. Meanwhile, these marines are going to have to come and try and deal with this. The Banelings are coming in, and most of the Banelings were picked up relatively easily. But still, look at the amount of zerglings in the base. This is not looking good for ThorZaIN at all. He's going to lose all of the SCVs. He's just got no army at all, and to be honest, this is not looking to be a good spot in the slightest for our Terran player here. And Venusaur just right. Well, got luck because those were down, and there's the GG, well played. So essentially that is a lesson to all Terran players: make sure you keep your wall up unless you absolutely have to. The other thing I'd say for ThorZaIN here is he went for a big push with all of his marines before he had a solid defense, and Venusaur just dealt with it incredibly well, and because of that he was able to counterattack. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, please subscribe to my YouTube, and follow me on Twitter, which is at sc2_England. Thank you very much for watching, and tune in again. Also check out all the other games on my channel, of course, which is youtube.com/Madals91, which is MADALS91. Thank you very much, and see you again soon. Bye for now.